everyone, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Shitty Parents Are Us podcast.
Where we discuss all the shitty stuff from the perspective of
an adoptive mother
and a biological father.
I'm Brandi, and I have a 7-year-old son who's adopted.
And I'm Mr. Jamal, y'all. I have 2 biological sons, ages 20 and 8, and a set of twin daughters who are 5.
What's up, Jamal?
What's happening? We back at it like a crack addict never left. So here we are once again, week number 3. Counting.
How was the end of your week? How was your weekend, basically?
My weekend was cool. I pretty much, did a referee camp, so I made that happen. I'm in an adult league playing basketball. I got to get my, what I'm saying,
got that Bengay? Yes.
My knees and my legs still kind of hurt.
Like I said, that Bengay.
But yeah, my weekend was good. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Spent it with family. The boy started AAU track. So yeah, we had a pretty fun and eventful, busy weekend.
There you go, man. Any trash this week?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I'm not gonna stay too long on it because we've already touched on this before in previous weeks. So. Needless to say, my child needed lunch money again. He needed lunch money again. But I wasn't too upset when I got the alert because it was about the time that he would need a refill. Yeah, come on. I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, he needed a refill, so put the money on there, and I happened to just go check his purchase history, if you will.
Okay. He got some money left on that
just
thing.
Just to see, what he's been purchasing, because he asked me the other day, Mommy, can I buy some cereal? And I was like, yeah, but as you guys know from a couple of weeks, I'm decreasing his sugar intake. So in my mind, he hasn't really had much sugar at school.
Right.
Joke on me because, little buddy has been at the snack bar. For the last
fruits. He got fruit
Ain't
on
no
his
fruit. No, because it's itemized. I would have known exactly. If it was fruit,
it
would have said exactly which fruit he had.
Pears.
No, Buddy was at the snack bar. So, I'm not even trying to stay on this long. That's the trash that I'm dealing with this week, and it is officially taken out.
Okay, so my trash this week is about my son again. He definitely.
Boys,
man. So you remember how 2 weeks ago I was saying that he was being defiant and, abrupting and disrupting the classroom? Well, he's back at it again. I get a phone call today. Basically, the voicemail from the teacher said that she don't know what to do with him. She don't know why he's acting out. She asked him to read, and he was supposed to be reading silently, and he is reading out loud. And when she asked him to be quiet, he said, "What? I am reading." Whoa, first off, you're supposed to be reading to yourself. Why are you reading out loud, and why are you disrupting the class? And then I already know what he's going to say when I bring it up and ask him about it. Well, that whenever I got the phone call or the email 2 weeks ago, it was because of the math and science teacher. This is the English and reading teacher. So see, he got a strategy. I already know. You got to stay 10 to 1,200 steps ahead of all these kids. You have to. It's necessary. It's a must. It's mandatory. So. Yeah, needless to say, when I see this dude, it's on site because he said
Hold up, but you said you wasn't doing corporal punishment.
Right. So listen, he said the last time when he went to go report live back to his mom, well, what happened? What was the discipline that your dad did? Oh, he didn't do nothing. Okay.
He got you out here looking like a sucker.
So you gonna try to put me out there like that? Don't worry about it. I promise you, wall sits for 3 hours. Huh? Wall sits for 3 hours.
Boy, you going to jail. Okay? You're going to jail for child abuse.
Okay, that's not child abuse, okay? That is child
redirection.
There you go, okay? That's what we're doing, okay? We're going to reposition his thoughts, okay? We're going to sit up there and make him think better and do better.
Gosh, buddy, okay. I'm going to send you some ice packs to the house because this don't seem like it's going to go well at all.
And I'm going to send my buddy Big Mike a food stamp card, okay? So
because this guy, Frito-Lay, Nature Valley.
Yeah, the good stuff. You don't want that
like Nature Valley. Y'all feel free to send my child a snack.
Because he gonna be able to stock up. Listen, Big Mike, You got a basket, you got this card, get whatever you want, okay? He going down all the aisles, getting all the snacks,
I just
cereal.
love how we continue to encourage each other's children to continue their foolishness.
Why not?
I don't understand.
Okay. You putting it on Big Taj? Listen, I'll put it on Big Mike. Here we go.
All right, so this week we are talking about shitty love, feelings, and affection.
Yes, okay. So that is the topic of this episode.
Of the week. Yes. So, question. Growing up,
okay,
was love and affection open shown in your house?
Yes. And I say that because, like I said, I was raised by my mom, single parent, 4 children, and she's affection and, pretty much make me, my siblings, who we are today. I feel like if you come from that, then you're definitely going to have it on you as well as in you to where you can outpour it on others as well as, your immediate circle and whatnot.
So y'all were the family that said, I love you every day. Y'all gave hugs. Y'all were that family.
Still do it to this day.
Oh, yep. That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep. That's for sure, man. What about you?
No, that is not the case.
That's not your story.
For my family.
Okay.
It's not. Like, no, not at all. Even to this day, even as adults, like, my brother is notorious for doing it more so out of all of the siblings.
Okay.
If you put my entire family in a group text message and say, hey, I love you guys.
One might say something.
No, ain't no one. Everybody gonna be like, what's wrong? What happened?
What?
Because that's just not what our family. We did not do. We're not overly affectionate. We're not like the lovey-dovey type.
Okay.
We didn't say I love you every day. We knew we were loved,
right.
But we weren't. We were not that family. We were not that family.
So do you think that just for you and your perspective on, how you want to present it to Mike, like do you show him that overly, or do you kind of carry on tradition from what you were used to and accustomed to?
Very early on, I kind of did what was normal for me, and that was not like show affection or whatever.
So then you have to recreate the new normal.
Well, no. Michael forces you to recreate the new normal. Okay. If you get a chance to meet Michael is a very loving kid.
Okay, there you go.
Coming from his past, all he wants is love.
There it is.
And he wants to know he's liked. So my child does not go to bed without a hug and a kiss and a good night, mama, and tell the family I say good night. That's literally his words every night. And he has no problem at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning knocking on my door. You didn't tell me good night.
So he already knows.
You did not tell me good night. So, but it was hard. It was a challenge. It was something I had to overcome because showing affection is not something that I knew to do or knew how to do. Mm. So Michael has challenged me to be better in that area. Michael has taught me how to actually love and show affection, if you will.
Mm. Okay. And see, like, I think it's pretty much I guess you could say, tradition, if you will, with me. Because it's like, I make sure that I, tell my kids that I love them. I show them love. I tell them, hey, I'm proud of you. What's that for? I'm proud of you just for, making sure that you are staying true to yourself. Standing up for yourself, and operating in the confines of your own identity. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I'm encouraging that, as long as you're encouraging that, and pretty much Mike is making you rewrite the road or the scroll, if you will, on how you should be rolling. So I feel like, it's all about learning and growing and, elevating, what I'm saying, with the kids.
I do have to be more cognizant of being more, giving him more words of affirmation.
There you go.
And it's funny that's one of my love languages, words of affirmation, but I don't do it like I should with him.
But you receive it.
But I receive it.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Right. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, I'm being more cognizant of, like, he's starting track now, and I realized, like, after he got in trouble, him and his teammates got in trouble. They had to do an extra lap or whatever. And Michael was just being goofy. Michael has run a few 5Ks, and so this is the most structured, running in a lane is something new to him.
Okay.
And so Michael wanted to zigzag and do all kind of stuff rather than just running his lane. And when the coaches were talking, him and his new teammates were talking. And so I was just like, I found myself fussing at him. But at the end of, I was fussing at him, telling him, hey, if this is what you want to do, you need to do this, that, and the third.
Right.
But I did sandwich it up by saying, but I'm proud of you today.
There you go.
But I have to be, because Michael's self-esteem is not where it could be or should be.
Based
I don't know
on his activities and things that he's done or not done.
No, Michael compares himself to his peers a lot, and there is a very vast difference between him and his peers.
Okay.
And so I think that beats up on his confidence just a little bit when he looks at what his peers can do versus what he can't do yet.
Okay.
And so I think that's very, it beats up on his confidence. I mean, considering where he came from, I kind of like it goes without saying.
Absolutely.
And so as his mom, I have to be cognizant in my coming and going to make sure that I'm giving him words of affirmation that he needs, and not only give it to him, but make sure that he receives it. Mm-hmm. So
confirming that, and displaying that he gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying?
I know he's loved.
So, yeah. I know he knows that too.
Yeah. I know he's loved, but I think I can do a better job at showing him he's loved, but showing him not only in action, but in my voice too. My voice is not always loving.
Right.
Hold up. You agree too quick.
Oh,
relax.
So there. I was going to. Hey,
you're doing 80 and a 60, huh?
Slow that thing down.
80 and a 60. Calm down.
Slow that thing down, okay?
But yeah. All right. So growing up, were you allowed to have and or express your
feelings? Yeah. I think that it was more or less because it's myself and my two little brothers who are under me, and then my baby sister. It's almost like being raised or being reared by uncles or people from the neighborhood or grandfather or just OGs, if you will. As a young man or as a little boy, like they want to make sure that you tough enough to hold your own. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't really walk around with the extra sad type tone or want to whine or want to be babyfied or anything like that. Like it was more like, nah, you scrubbed your knee. You know what I'm saying? Get up, rub some dirt on it, you'll be all right. Now that was around them. Now you flip that coin and you do something like that and you around, say, your aunts or your mom or something like that coming up where I was from. It's almost like they want to try to hurry up and nurture that. They want to try to hurry up and put a Band-Aid on it. They want to try to hurry up and make you feel better. And it's like that, in my eyes, is what gives, kids balance. Because if you have too much of one thing, then it's almost like you won't know how to respond to or act out on the other thing, or vice versa. You know what I mean? If all I had was my uncles, then how would I know how to be, I guess you could say, sympathetic enough towards my daughters if they scrape their leg or something like that? You see what I'm saying?
You brought up an interesting point. It is something we've talked about in the past, like how you said with your uncles, you were allowed to be more macho. Mm-hmm. And when it came to your aunts or your mom or something, you were then allowed to be or display that softer side.
Right.
That, I feel like that's what's wrong with a lot of our men and our young boys today.
What's that?
That we don't allow, as men, you guys do not make it comfortable because it wasn't made comfortable for you guys to show expression in front of other men. Like it was deemed weak to be emotional, or it was deemed weak to be vulnerable. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of our men today, and could potentially continue with what's wrong with our young men today.
It's a lot of scar tissue.
It is. And I think to the point of me saying I wanted Michael to be whole, and a part of that being whole was also being emotionally whole, was that he feels safe enough that if this hurts, I'm going to cry about it. Like, I'm going to cry about it. But that doesn't, like, make me any less of a man, or that doesn't make me anything other than I'm just a man who got feelings. And my feelings got hurt. Yeah, I'm not human. So I guess, like, how are you going to position that with Taj, where, like, it's okay for Taj for that to hurt him, and he doesn't have to be like, shut up and take it like a man, blah blah blah.
Right. That's that's pretty interesting that you say that. And I feel like for me, I have to make sure that I present that type of balance to him because at the end of the day, that's what I had, you know. And so it would not be right for me to just come at him with just the view or perspective that my uncles came at me. You know, be tough, rub some dirt on it. You know, men don't cry and things like this. But then if my daughters break so much as a fingernail, oh, well, let daddy get some ice or let me do this, and I'm quick to try to tend to them. Well, guess what? If they're seeing that and he's seeing that, how is that making him feel? So it's almost my duty to make sure that I bring the balance. Now, I'm not going to allow him to just be whining and crying about every little thing. But in that same sense, if something really like actually hurt him, yeah, man, go ahead and get that out. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and break down whatever you need to do. But just know, this doesn't take anything away from you. Just know that you are in a painful situation in this moment. So I'm gonna be there for you to be like, hey, I'm saying, you all right? You need some ice, whatever, whatever. But I'm just not. I'm just gonna take a different tone, if you will, when it comes to my daughter. It's still gonna be the same type of love and affection, but it's just gonna be displayed differently based on how I want him to respond and rebound from whatever pain or whatever he's going through.
Okay, two-part question. So the first question is, has your kids, specifically your boys, have they seen you cry?
Yes. Yes, they have.
Okay.
Yes, they have.
Okay. So what if in Taj's emotions that his cry out isn't necessarily tears, but it's in his behavior? How do you then respond to him not being able to articulate as intelligent as those kids are? I think it's sometimes still hard to say this is what hurts me or this is what bothers me, so they act out in another way. How do you respond then when it's his behavior that he's making the outcry for emotional distress?
I feel like at this point in time, maybe that could have something to do with how he is behaving in the classroom. Maybe it's a cry out because I don't know. Maybe he's getting older, and maybe he's feeling like, okay, his sisters are getting older as well, but now I realize, well, because they are younger than me, and because I have to pretty much be the big brother, it's almost as though I have to be tough enough for the whole house. When I'm thinking, dude, listen, when you are around you and your sisters, I need you to be tough enough to where you're gonna, A, hold your own, and then B, protect them when necessary. Now, when you're around me, you can just fall back, you can just chill, just know that, hey, guess what? I'm around dad. I don't have to, pump up my chest or do anything like that. I'm in good hands. I know I'm with dad. So I feel like if I'm displaying that to him and he's carrying that on to his sisters, whenever he is not around me, then he'll know, okay, well, boom, it's time for me to step it up. And then whenever he's around me, it's, hey, listen, I can just, kind of chill and not have to stick out my chest so far.
Does he know that? Does he know that's the expectation for him?
I think he does, but I think that he's like gradually getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I've been preaching this or pumping this in his head ever since he was 3 and now he's 8. I feel like he has some type of idea, but I don't think that he's actually captured, encapsulated the idea to where he's actually moving forward and displaying that, if you will.
So as a dad, how do you then help him find the balance of, you only have to be big brother and macho when I'm not around? Or how do you help facilitate that so he can break up the balance? Because we joked before, but Taj is like an old man. Taj is 8 and he act like he's 38. He don't have time for nothing kids have time for. He's not interested. So even already having that level of maturity at 8, he's still a kid, but he has a very heightened level of maturity. How as his dad do you coach him through, facilitate him through? You don't have to be you can enjoy your life. You can, if you like playing with slime, Taj, play with slime.
Right.
If you like,
but that's the thing.
How do you do that?
With him, I feel like, for whatever reason, I definitely encourage him to be himself. whether he's around me or he's not. And in that, I feel as though he looks at me like, this is my Superman. He has an S on his chest, so I want to mirror what my dad does. If my dad, goes up for the layup and he jumps off his left foot and he rolls it up with his right hand, I want to get in my game and do the same thing. If my dad, laces his shoes up like this, I want to lace my shoes up like this. If my dad, uh, puts his belt on like this, I want to put my belt on like this. So it's almost as though whenever he's around me, he wants to mirror the things that I'm doing. Yet I feel like he wants to do that in order to get my approval. And I'm like, dude, listen, you approved, man. You know what I mean? You stamp, you good. You don't have to try to do what I do. But I mean, in that same breath, because I feel as though of the impact that I have on his life and the way that I encourage him to do things, I feel like that's a blessing in itself for him to even want to do something even remotely similar to what I'm doing. And like I tell him, and my family and everybody else tells him like, dude, listen, yeah, you can, do things like your dad and things like that, but be better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell all my kids that, you know what I'm saying? Don't be like me, be better than me. Because I feel like if I've led you this far, then guess what? I want you to be able to lead yourself and others even further. And then they can grab that torch and even pass it even further and keep on having the marathon continue like that. You know what I mean?
So, okay, let's back it up too. So we got Taj and we know about the girls. So how old were you when you had Makai?
17 years old.
So like,
Yeah.
so when it comes to Makai, like, do you think you show Makai in comparison to the younger three? Like, do you think because you had Makai at such a young age that you were able to give him what you've given the younger three? Or do you feel like there's like a gap there?
I mean,
a gap that can be filled.
Well, it's a 12-year difference
Yep.
between the boys, and so with that, yeah, it's going to be different. Because Kai was raised around his mom, um, and with Taj and the girls, like I have a different type of interaction with them. You know what I mean? Like they see me, they know me, they around me often. I see my kids every week. Like it's 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 a way different feel. You know what I mean? So the way that I am and the expectations or the standards that I set for all of my kids are going to be somewhat different. From the youngest three to Makai, and I say that because guess what? If I'm in the house, if they're at the house with me, then they know, okay, well, look, it goes like X, Y, and Z when it comes to that. Well, if they're at their mom's, then it might go a little bit different to where, okay, now the kid can kind of play both sides of the table. You know what I mean? Okay, well, at dad's house, I know it's very strict. I know it's very disciplined. I know it's very, uniform. And at mom's, it might be, a little bit more lax, a little bit more free fall, if you will, and just kind of come and go as you please. Well, I look at it like this. In order for the same page to be, moved in the type of harmony that's needed to be moved in, well, guess what? Everybody got to be on the same page. So if I'm not letting them, go out and stay up till 11, 12 o'clock at night, then you don't do that either. You know what I mean? But I can't tell somebody how to run their house just like they can't tell me how to run my house.
Right. So how do you, or can you, with Makai being so much older than the younger three, how do you close that gap, or can you go close that gap, or do you know how to close that gap?
For Makai are different than Taj. You know what I mean? Just because he is older.
Mm-hmm.
So if something was to happen to me today, I just hope that the morals and the things that I instilled in my kids will carry on, especially from the oldest one to the Taj. You know what I mean? If Taj is going down a path of whatever, I just need some type of encouragement from my oldest to step up and be like, hey man, you need to do X, Y, Z. But in that same sense, I can't expect it. I would hope for that to happen, but I can't expect it because guess what? My oldest is still trying to find his identity.
Right. So I was here to ask that. Do you think he even has it? Not that you didn't instill it in him. Does he even have that in him to give? Do you think?
If I was to make or give you a solid answer today, I would say no. I would say no for today, because all this he said that he wants to go to the military. He's saying he wants to make music. He's saying that he wants to like do all these different things. You know what I mean? So with that, I feel like you have to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do, what you're passionate about, what drives you, what motivates you, what keeps you going, and then just kind of stay on that. I read something the other day that said the day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit.
Right.
That's a very, very profound and prolific, statement because it's so many people who want to just kind of throw seeds out here and not really water them, not really fertilize, not really allow them to process whatever they may process. So whether that's my boys or whether that's my girls, they all going to learn different. They all going to be unique. They're all going to, do things how they do them. And hey, I'm just here to see it happen.
Yeah. So
what about you though?
If I was allowed to have feelings and stuff, nope.
Oh, right. See, that's how you said it. One word answer.
No, and I mean, I'm not saying that to be like, but that's just the truth of the matter. Like, we didn't have feelings. Like, your feelings were whatever. Or let me say this: like, you have, like, we didn't have the permission to express our feelings, if you would. That's the better way to put it. We didn't have that. We didn't have that permission. Like, we were not.
So your voices were muted.
Very much so. Like, very much so. We came from a do as I say, not as I do. We weren't allowed to ask why, like, none of that stuff. And it was so funny because this weekend, we happened to talk in a roundabout way. My aunt, my grandmother, and I were kind of talking about this subject just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so they were pretty much saying how Michael is spoiled because I give him options. Mm. And so I said...
the belt is one of them.
I said, I'll accept what you're saying, but listen to what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Number one, Michael was given a lot of options very early on because, as I said last week, this was only supposed to be a 6-month temporary deal.
Right.
So in me getting him at age 4, there was a lot of things about him I didn't know. I didn't know what his favorite food was. I didn't know what his likes and dislikes were. I didn't know those things that the average parent gets to learn over time. My kid came to me 4, so I had to ask him a lot of stuff like, hey, what's your favorite food? Right. I now know his favorite food is pizza.
There you go.
Right. So but had I not asked him this, I wouldn't have known this. So it seems like I gave Michael a lot of choices because it's like, hey, do you like a blue shirt or do you like an orange shirt? He's gonna pick blue because blue is one of his favorite colors.
But is blue one of your favorite colors?
It's not my favorite. I like blue, but it's not my favorite. But it's so. And I told her, I said, I'll take what you're saying, but I'm gonna raise you 5. Mm-hmm. And my raise 5 was because we were not allowed to express our feelings. Even to this day, when talking to my grandmother, we kind of have to like agree to disagree because she's not used to us voicing our opinions about matters. Because that's just not what our family did. Like, you didn't voice your opinion. You kept that to yourself. Every time. And so now as adults, and she's hearing us have our opinions, and you can tell when it makes her uncomfortable because we're going against what she believes and thinks. Okay. And it's just like, Gran, hey, no disrespect, but that's what you think. That ain't what I think.
That's not where I'm at with it.
That's not where I'm at with it. Yeah, and I'm teaching, and I'm not doing that with Michael. And so it looks like I'm out here freelance parenting, basically, but I'm like, no, I'm doing what should have been done for us. Allow us within like that setting boundaries, allow us to feel how we feel.
Have your voice.
Yeah, like, and now we talk about this all the time. You cannot tell anybody how to feel.
No.
You cannot tell anybody how to feel. You don't have to like it. You don't have to accept it. But you do at least need to understand why somebody feels. Yeah, respect it. Like, and that's where I am with Michael. Like, listen, son, I know you don't like going to bed at 7:30. I know you don't like it, but you're going because you need your rest. Mm-hmm. You're going because you need to refuel for the day. I know you don't like wearing, I know your favorite shoes are those black shoes, but the way you play, son, if you don't spread the wealth between all your shoes, you're going to wear them. You're going to wear that pair out.
you're going to have to lay down and get
you're going to wear that for out. And
over.
so it's giving him options within the confines that I set for him. Because like I said, we were not allowed to. Like, if you don't like something, man, you better take that to your room and you better mumble. Yeah, you better cry your pillow. You better mumble up the steps or mumble away with that. But you don't, no. Like when it came to my mom, my grandmother, like no, you don't do that. But that's because that's how my grandmother was raised.
So if
and you darn sure didn't ask why.
Oh, right. Okay, so we just gonna say, if you told Mike to do something, and he went off to his room, and when him going to his room, it was like, man, I'm saying this, and you heard that, what would your response be? Because you can't say, you can say whatever you want to say, but I'm saying, for you to say, we didn't have that voice, or we didn't have any room to do something like that, if he did that for the first time, would that make you flash back to what you were used to, and then you done snatched a patch of hair out of his head?
I would be lying if I said I didn't, because I even when you said that, like 2 parts of me came like,
right, see.
But that's because that's
instinct.
That's instinct. That's what I've always known. Like if you say something in our growing up, if you said something in our house opposite of what my mom said or my grandmother said, you was finna catch hell for it.
Right.
Excuse me. With Michael, my initial reaction is always to respond as I saw my elders respond. That's that's just what I know. But I also, like, within that of getting ready to go off, there are times I do catch myself and I'm like, well, hey, let's talk about this. Not all the time do I respond the way that I'm practicing or trying to respond. I miss the mark sometimes. I miss the mark a lot of times. But what I am able to do is what my mom and my grandmother never did. Like, they just now doing this in our adult years, and that's apologizing. Michael can probably say, Mom, I need a tally sheet to cut, like, mark down the times you apologize. I'm making my point when I'm wrong to apologize to him because, like, we're not always right.
Right.
Like, we're not always right. And my grandmother,
as a parent,
like my grandmother used to say, if she accused my mom, like she would say this about my mom and my aunt and uncles. Like if they did something wrong, or they felt like that she accused them of something that wasn't true, they had to write her a letter. Like they like, you're not gonna stand back and go back and forth with me. You need to write me a letter. And it's just like, why was that looked at as disrespectful, whether defending my character or for something that I know I did not do? And that's the thing that baffles me. Like no matter, and my child is a habitual liar. I have reason not to believe him because he's a habitual liar. However, he's a habitual liar. Like he will lie to you and the crazy thing is now.
Look at you.
No, like even now, because when I be like, Michael, I don't believe you. You should.
Why say that? You know what I mean? Listen.
Why
should not say that.
You should, Mama. You should believe me. No, I don't believe you because you lie all the time. But
now, can he say I'm not lying? Cause see, like it even get to the point to where you can't even use the word lie until you like a teenager. You know what I mean? Like based on how it was in the house.
Yeah, like even to this day, even in front of my grandmother, I'd be like, girl, I could be talking to one of my sisters. Girl, stop lying. I mean, you're not even telling the truth. No, we don't do that. Like, I am telling the truth. Like, nah, he don't say that. I'm not lying. Well, yeah, I can remember a couple times he said, Mama, I'm not lying to you. Yeah, but that was in a defensive way.
Right now, you
because I don't take it as personal as my mom and my grandmother did growing up. Because I don't. Yeah, like he ain't gonna stand and call me no lie.
Right.
It's a difference. Yeah, like he gonna defend himself. Like I don't even now. I don't even think it's that deep. But that's just how we was conditioned. Like even in front of my grandmother, like we don't. But that's cause, like I said, that's how we were conditioned. But me personally. Like, if my son say, Mama, I'm not lying to you. That is not, I don't take that as, like, a personal, oh, you're so disrespectful. Like, It's not that deep, Like, it's not that deep at all.
But based on how you were raised, like,
I realized how not deep that was.
Okay.
That's why it's not that deep for me now. when Michael is trying to defend himself, when I know he's lying.
Right. See.
And I can say this because when I ask Michael questions, I ask them with the intention of giving him the chance to tell me the truth because I already know the answer.
Right. I'm not. Listen, if I'm asking you a question, it's because I know the answer.
It's a setup. Right. It's a setup. And it's a trap, and he falls for it every single time.
You got to be quick on your feet, man. Quick on your feet. Sheesh.
So, yeah, just kind of going with this whole idea of making because that was my parents ago, making my child hold, and as we're talking about love, affection, and feelings and stuff, and it's about emotional intelligence. So, kind of segueing into my tip, trick, or steal. I have a list from parents.com and I'm not going to give you all 20, but it's an article they released. It's 20 books that encourages empathy.
Okay, let's see what you get.
So for kids up to age 2.
Neither one of us have those. Skip that
page. Somebody listening might have that.
All right.
It's a book called Baby Faces by Margaret Miller, and it teaches about expressing kids' faces throughout the pages, along with words and stuff. So like a smile, you will see this person smiling. And it's just at that age teaching kids emotions basically at a very young age. And also not only seeing it on them, but seeing it on somebody else. For kids, Baby Faces by Margaret Miller. This is not a sponsorship at all. I just thought this was a very good read.
Okay.
For kids ages 3 to 4, there is a book called Rude Cakes by Rowboat Watkins, and it says, talk to your child about the cakes' facial expressions and reactions of the other characters. How does the cake's behavior affect them? So, basically, like the other book, you see someone else have an emotion, but you're now at ages 3 or 4, you're asking them, how does that affect you? How does their emotion affect you? So very early on, teaching your kids that the whole cause and effect, or for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Right. So it's kind of teaching them that, like, understanding how somebody's emotion can put you also in an emotion too.
Absolutely.
Because
it
could, or at least you hope that your kid is emotionally intelligent. We joke about all the time how like my emotions, and I feel like this goes just from my upbringing. I have an emotional switch, and I can turn it off and on depending on the situation. I can be one of the most nonchalant people you ever meet, and I can also be the most emotionally detached person you ever meet. Like some stuff just doesn't bother me. And I'm okay with that. But it comes back to, but it does, like, even though given the situation, I'm okay with it because it bothers me sometimes that I'm not bothered by stuff I feel like I should be bothered by.
Right.
I know that's a lot, but I get upset with myself because I can't feel what that person probably is right about how I should feel, but you can't tell nobody how to feel.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I think that also just, speaking from a friend perspective, like, I feel like that also kind of comes with your level of being vulnerable. Like, your vulnerability is, like,
non-existent.
Low to no. Like, low to no. I'm like, dude, like, I mean, I said, I gave you all these props and all that, you like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I just poured out my whole heart, like, hey man, you did this, hey man, you was mine, yeah, that's cool.
Because I did not get that at home, so it now affects me in my adult life. But I'm cognizant of it, so I try to be better by being more like even if I can't emotionally get to the place of the situation, I'll at least get myself there mentally, if that makes sense. Like.
Right, but how do you pour it outwardly? Because it's
almost
like you do it, and even if you get to that level to where, okay, yeah, I'm emotionally ready, I'm emotionally this, I'm emotionally that, you then after you get to being okay from within with it, okay, yeah, I'm feeling like this, but then outwardly it's kind of like, yeah, I don't really know how to respond. I don't really know how to react. I really don't know how to.
No, it's not that I don't know how to react. I just emotionally can't get there to that place.
But you're not shut down though, so that's what I'm saying. If you're tapping into something internally and you're able to, okay, well my switch is on, but then outwardly it's not really shown.
Yeah, and that's the other problem too, because most
Right.
people will misconstrue that as I don't care, and I'd be like, no, I really
I'm
do.
doing the
Like
best I
I'm
can here.
doing the best I can here. I'm right here with you. I get it. Like I understand it. I overstand it in a lot of cases.
Right.
But emotionally, I can't get there. But I will say, in the last year, as I've gone through therapy, I've become a little bit more, a little better in my emotions.
0.2%.
But it's not a lot. It's not a lot. I'm not an overly emotional person. I'm not an overly affectionate person, which is why parenting an overly affectionate child was so cringeworthy very early on, because I was like, bro, you want a hug? A hug for what?
Because I'm a kid. Okay? I don't want you to just miss.
Not only because I'm a kid, because I'm a battered kid to a certain abused kid to a certain degree. So I need love. I know you love me.
Unconditional.
I need you to show me that you love me, like physically show me that you love me. And that has been one of the hardest things. Not only like mentally waking up and saying, you're up and you're a parent of today. You're up and you're a parent. Not only that, being emotionally, being affectionate as a parent has probably been the number 2 the hardest for me. Because like I said, Michael needs it. Michael craves it. And I don't gotta have it. I don't need it. Well, I don't say I don't gotta have it, but it's like very specific situations in which I need and want affection. And like it's very specific, like very pinpointed. And so like it's days that Michael wants to come and just lay all over me, and like he want to snuggle up on the couch, and I just be like, bro, will you move? Like in my mind, get up off of me.
You're not a baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
And it's so funny and it's so weird, but like not only by him needing it, it's teaching me to get it. And I think the other thing is, it's very much so. Like I may, like a lot of times it may sound like I hate being a parent, but I don't hate being a parent. It's not. Yeah, I don't hate being a parent, but being a parent has also taught me so much.
More responsibility.
Not even. I think I'm a highly responsible person. I didn't need a child to teach me responsibility.
Right, but I'm saying more responsibility in the fact of, okay, listen, I can take care of myself, but how do I take care of this kid who needs me and I'm responsible for it? I mean, if the kid, stomach is hurting, if the kid, doesn't feel good, if the kid, because with you.
But that's nurturing. Like I never doubted my ability to be a nurturer. Like at the end of the day, that's women. We're nurturers. Like I never doubted my ability to do that. Like because even in a relationship, there's a level of nurturing that comes with being in a relationship. So I'm not so far removed from that I can't nurture.
Excuse me, in that same sense, you're not, nurturing him like you would nurture your partner. You see what I'm saying? So how is it that you know how to dissect and, separate and categorize, well, my love over here is like this, my love for my family is like this, my love for my child is like this. You see, because it's a lot of hats that you have to wear in displaying it a certain type of way.
No, it is. It is a lot of hats that I have to wear, which is why his level of affection requires so much more in something I don't identify with.
Gotcha.
So that's why this is so much of a challenge. Like I can love all day long in a relationship. Now the affection part will absolutely come up. It has come up before. So that part of it will come up, but we're talking about something like being affectionate towards a child that I didn't birth, so to speak. So I feel like that's the part of it. Like not only that, I didn't see this is how you connect, this is how you give affection to a kid. I didn't see that. So you're asking me to do something that I'm already not really good at and give that to somebody who needs it, and I didn't get that either. That's what makes it so much harder. But as I said, in parenting Michael has just shown me so much about love. Michael has taught me so much about affection, and Michael has taught me so much about feelings, just feelings, like tapping into feelings.
Do you feel like that's because of his innocence?
I think this is literally a situation of I needed him, and you need to learn how to give it. Me.
Okay.
And we partner up just great in this situation.
The yin to your yang.
The yin to my yang. He needs it, and I need to learn how to give it. And so, yeah, I think that's what a lot of that boils down to.
Okay, so was that all the books that you read? You guys was like 2 books?
No, you asked me a question. So there's a book called Stevie by John Steptoe.
Okay.
And it talks about a kid who doesn't like having a stepbrother. Okay. But when he goes away, he misses him. And then he's able to talk to other kids about his feelings and emotions about that. So
even kids can be complex, you know. I know that.
Kids are complex. Their existence is complex. No, I'm joking.
Wow, that's cool.
I'm joking.
That's cool.
But no, I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, no, kids can have. I think kids' feelings are complex, not just because feelings are complex in and of themselves, but because you're asking a child to try to communicate to an adult how they feel, and their vocabulary is not as expansive as ours, and so that's hard in and of itself. Like Michael has said something. Like Michael yesterday was like really quiet, and if you know my kid, quiet and his name don't go in the same sentence.
Will talk you out of your sleep. Like, brother, I'm trying to sleep here. What's going on?
And so he was like really quiet yesterday. And I was like, Michael, are you okay? He was like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, do you feel okay? He was like, Now I really don't know if he was being extra or not, because he could, like, right. He likes affection, so he'll do whatever, like, oh, I think my mama might.
I'm gonna sell this.
I'm gonna sell this. So it could have been a little bit of both, but whatever. So I was like, does your stomach hurt? He was like, no. I said, does your head hurt? He said, a little. I said, does your brain hurt? I don't know. And that's the part that confuses me, or it makes me like, this is why Michael is in, like, not only because he's in therapy to work through stuff, but because I know, like, the therapist has the ability to formulate questions or do things in play therapy to bring about his thoughts. Honestly, I think Michael always has constantly something on his brain, and that baffles me because I don't know how to. Because I don't know what he's thinking.
That's what I'm saying. He got his thoughts. Well, you got your thoughts. You know.
It's different when No, it's because I'm wondering what he's thinking about. Like, is he thinking about? Because Michael knows he has another family. Okay. So I'm wondering, does those things consume his thoughts? If he has another brother or another sister, I'm saying another, like he has a brother and a sister. Okay. Like, does that consume his thoughts? Like, does he think about the trauma he experienced? Because he's not able to articulate, that bothers me. Because I don't know how to help him articulate. I don't even know if that's what he's really thinking.
Right, I'm about to say, but isn't that why you have him going to counseling?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But that doesn't stop me as a mom from wondering what he's thinking. Like I said, you know, Michael's literally sitting in the back seat. Like, Michael's usually the kid that's like, Mama, turn on some music, or he's talking about his day, or he's looking out the window, and Michael literally was sitting in the back seat just like sitting there. And I'm like, I kept looking back, and I was like, Michael, what's wrong with you? And that, like I was saying, his inability to convey his thoughts bothers me. And so I can be affectionate when I want to. I can connect.
Turn it on and off. The switch. That's your name. The switch.
But yeah, that kind of stuff. It does bother me and concern me. So yeah. Anybody to like misconstrue the thing like, oh, dog, Brandi, you talking about Michael have a bad upbringing or a trauma-filled upbringing. Mine was not on the scale as Michael, and mine wasn't as bad as it probably like sounds. Yeah, it just wasn't. But I do know ours was filled with a lot of laughter and fun, and that's why probably now we joke the way that we do is because we rooted or we masked what was supposed to be an outward expression of love with laughter. And so, like to my point, me and Michael have a good time, and so I'm always joking with him, and I think I do that as like a mechanism because that's what we do as a family. Like when we're supposed to be being serious, like between my brother and I, we find somebody's gonna find a way to crack a joke to to shift the mood, lighten the mood, to reinforce the mood or whatever that may be. But we all do it. Like if you like with my entire family, and my family is not that big. When we all get together, somebody could be having an argument. It's gonna be a knucklehead in the back cracking a joke, and that's just how we like. That's how
so
our
that's how
family.
You knew that you were loved?
I think that's safe to say we knew that we were loved and love was being shown by the laughter in the room. I think that's safe to say. Now, and my sister is nodding her head. My younger sister is nodding her head in the background. So we're in agreement.
Okay, so do you feel like it would have to be like some type of gut wrenching laugh, or could it just be a ha ha? Would that be like the okay, yeah, that was love? You know what I mean? It would have to be something that kind of had you like laughing out loud, tilted over, right?
Laughter in our family is loud anyway, and so there is no range on laughter. If we're laughing, we're laughing. Laughing is always loud in our family. So oh no, the octave is always going to be loud. It's just going to be loud.
Maximize.
And I think that again, I think you can measure the amount of love in the room by the amount of laughter in the room.
Got you. For me, how did I know that I was loved? I would probably say just the way that if anybody in my family is going through something, it's almost like we can talk about it. And I mean, it don't have to necessarily be something deep or something dark. It can be something light. It can be something fun. But to know that you have a family member who is genuinely listening with open ears and open arms and total, transparency and vulnerability, it's almost like, listen, yeah, I really need to get that off my chest. I really need to talk to somebody about it. And I'm glad that you was here. And so with that, just kind of growing up and being able to have that same type of relationship, that same type of outlook with any of my family members, whether it was my granny all the way down to my cousins, all the way down to my siblings, like we kept it like that, we keep it like that. That's just how we rock, and that's what keeps us solid. So that's in my eyes how I know that we were loved and that we are loved. Just because we can talk about whatever.
That's fair. I guess kind of just as like a final thought on shitty love, feelings, and emotions, because that's how I feel about all of that little warm, feely, fuzzy. It's all shit. I think no, for real though, like a part of me is so dead serious. Like I just think, as I said, I only could hope that I get more warm and fuzzy when it comes to showing and giving love and affection, and that I am able to kind of keep that emotional switch on and only turn it off when I come home. Because I could be at work, I could be in traffic, I could be anywhere, and that switch could be off and not a flick of insight. So I just think for me, I want to get better and more comfortable with giving and receiving love and affection, and then also to be more connected in the moments when giving or expressing my feelings. I think I can express. I express my feelings well. It's just so much as so is connecting with other people in their empathy, basically.
So do you feel like maybe reading books or just kind of taking some classes or even doing more counseling kind of get you
Child, going to therapy is all I can say. Going to therapy and taking those moments when I can't be involved. And it's healthy because not all emotions are healthy to get entangled in.
Right.
When it's healthy for me to get involved, it's okay for me to get involved emotionally, then I should get involved emotionally. Yeah. Because, I'm going to protect my peace,
of course,
my energy.
Of course. Earlier in the show was a clear example.
Yeah, that bad energy in my house had the stage before the show. No.
So with me, I don't know, man. Like I feel like I wanna make sure that I give my kids, what I had and more, but then I also want to make sure that I'm giving them, tough love enough to where, guess what, you can, you can go out into the real world because I'm not trying to coddle you, I'm not trying to shelter you, I'm not trying to, babyfy you. Because if you think about it, if you look at it, it's a lot of kids who were brought up like that who have fell off by the wayside because they thought that everything was supposed to be given to them. So it's like I want to make sure that I give my kids a balance, and I want to make sure that I show them, hey, listen, it's not going to always be peaches and cream. Sometimes you're going to have to get out here and go grind for yours. Sometimes you're going to have to get out here and, do a couple extra reps. Sometimes you're going to have to stay, after school to do, the extra homework or, the tutoring or whatever it may be. And then sometimes, if we go out and hang out, we can go and laugh and joke and, go to the movies and go play video games and all this kind of stuff. But in that same sense, like I'm giving them the sweet and the sour, the good and the bad, if you will. I'm just trying to make sure that the duality is there so they always see and understand both sides of the coin, to where once they are out in the public or in their own personal lives, then they know what it takes to be more of a complete person. You know what I mean? Like I think that's definitely how I want to show or display love to my children, for the betterment of them, for the betterment of us, for the betterment of others who we are involved with. So, yeah, I think that's what I got. I think that's, wrap it up.
So, I would just challenge everyone. For those who have kids, if you haven't or don't, tell your kids good night. You love them every night. I would encourage you to start that. It's not easy. I'll be the first person to say it took a lot of work in that muscle to do so. And now I say it, like now I say it. Like, hey, have a good night, son. Love you. See you in the morning. And I would also challenge you guys, if you're not those people to say, give hugs and say have good days and love you on their way to school as you guys depart and go about your day, I challenge you guys to do that as well. So yeah, if you don't do it, haven't done it in a while, I encourage you guys to start it back.
For sure, man. Kids need love. And
they do need it.
She believes the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Huh?
I don't know why.
Show them all the beauty they possess inside, okay? Because, how is it going to come outside if we don't allow them to show the beauty that's possessed inside?
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Shitty Parents Are Us. Sure. I ask that you go on all apps, platform that past podcasts. We are there. We just got added to iHeartRadio today. I forgot to tell you that. So we are literally on every podcasting platform possible. So go follow us, like us, subscribe us, leave a comment. And also, if you have trouble finding us anywhere, go to www.brandymcdowell.com/podcast.
Wow.
And it'll take you there. Until next week, same time, same place. You guys have an awesome week, and be sure to tell someone, specifically your kids, that you love them.
Peace and love, y'all.
Peace. This some shit.